Hello everybody and welcome back to my dumbass trying to do things around Ike, episode 3. Now, today we're building a space station, which should be obvious from the title. Now, I did this a while ago. It's been a long time since I did this, so whatever you think is weird about what I'm doing, what you're seeing there right now, don't ask me. It's been a while. I haven't seen this myself for a long while, so don't ask me. Now, this space station will be, as you see, expandable, so that's definitely coming in future episodes, but to not make too many future episodes, I will compile a few expansions into one episode, maybe the next 3, because we got 3 docking ports there. Now, at the time of this recording, of this voice recording, this is not finished. I still have open docking ports. Not these 3, but I still have open docking ports. So, definitely get ready for more than 3 further expansions. Now, there's a few things I took off. For example, I took that little telescope off, and I switched that little lander can that's supposed to be like a little makeshift cupola, like a smaller cupola. I moved that from back there to over there, which you can't really see, right? Because I have no face cam. Now, the launcher vehicle is pretty stupid, but so am I, so that works perfectly. Now, something I did have to revert like 3 times for. Always remember, double check everything, including fins, boosters, staging, auto strut if you're using that, or regular struts, space tape, you know. Make sure to always have the crew in. Yeah, stuff like that. Always make sure, because in real life they have to triple check twice before they greenlight literally anything, and it makes life much easier. Now, you see I lost a fin there, which is, no, actually 2, which is very unfortunate, but I don't really care, so yeah. I can live without it. We're almost out of the atmosphere anyway. So, the other 2 episodes that are already out on my channel, the lander and probe. Yeah, I was kinda not the best with encountering and orbiting Ike, but I swear it's gonna get better. I'm gonna get smarter, slightly, if that's possible. Now, this stage is pretty powerful and stuff. It's just a bit over-engineered, I'd say, maybe, just slightly. So I don't really have any problems with orbiting Kerbin here. But you shouldn't really, I shouldn't really have problems with that if I'm trying to make a space station around Ike. That's a planet over, that's a planet further out, so, because if I had problems with orbiting Kerbin, then I shouldn't try orbiting Ike, let alone Duna. Stuff, yeah. Now, here I cut away from me waiting for multiple minutes for the time warp, because sometimes the time warp is really fucking slow, and you have to sit there for like a few minutes just waiting for your stuff to arrive. Now, here I'm futzing around with the maneuver node a bit. That's normal to get a good maneuver node. Now, you can see me dragging the little sliders, prograde, retrograde, stuff like that. But one thing I did recently learn is that you can also do that with a mouse wheel. If you point at your desired node, and then mouse wheel up and down does actually do that. So, yeah, use that knowledge wisely. Okay, now, I didn't cut too much waiting out of this episode, literally just that little waiting we just got past, and a bit of waiting for this burn. But yeah, the rest is ×2 speed, so we don't sit here for an hour, because the original recording was an hour and 20 minutes, I'd say, which is quite long. And I wouldn't want to do a voiceover for that long. My voice would not like that, especially because I don't have any water with me here today. Yep. Cup of water is not available. Yeah, but here we can see the burn that's about to begin, where I also just walk past because I can't be bothered to wait 4 minutes. And that's the end of the burn. Now, generally it's good to get as close as possible to your original burn goal, but of course you'll always be a little bit off, unless you have like a AI that does it for you. Wasn't that MechJeb? But I haven't fucked around with mods a lot, so yeah. The only thing I have is parallax, and that's like only visual stuff. A few terrain scatters. Okay, so here we see my beautifully constructed upper stage, and this is very important. Always remember to quick save often. I can't tell you how many times I had to restart missions before I actually started using the quick save. And deep space maneuvers are pretty efficient, which is nice, because that's how many, oh my god, why is the quality so low on this? Yeah, about 60 meters per second for a lot of change. Now, I'd say this goes mostly for Jool, because Jool has the most massive moons and is also kind of annoying to orbit. So I think this goes mostly for Jool, but you can also kind of do it with the Mun maybe and Ike. Gravity assists are your friends. Seriously. Getting a gravity assist of a moon you don't actually want to go to can really just actually capture you into the system. So definitely use it. That will come in a future episode where I actually go to Jool, but that's a few episodes in, because I kind of have a lot of footage that I need to work through. Like, seriously, I have this Jool, that Jool, this, lots of Ike, even something around Kerbin. My god. Yeah. I have too much footage. Well, anyways, yeah, as I said, gravity assists are quite useful, so as a tip for newer players, just quick saves, triple check everything before launch, and gravity assists can be useful. And don't even try a tutorial, just go for it. That's like I did. I heard of them. That's as much as I got. I heard of them. Like, all I knew was pass in front of it to reduce your velocity, pass behind it to get velocity. That's as much as I knew, and then just heard of it a little bit. And, you know, the closer you get, the more effective it is, but that's kind of basic. Yeah, that's kind of basic knowledge, so yeah. So I kind of just did it. You'll see in a episode where I actually go to Jool. Yeah, so now here I am warping in for Duna. Duna's very boring at the moment. That's not what we're looking for. I mean, Ike is worse, isn't it? It's literally just a grey rock. Well, Duna at least has a few canyons and stuff, and ice poles. Yeah, that's kind of hypocritical to call Duna boring and not Ike. But who cares, we're out for Ike at the moment, and apparently, yep, I saw that, that's over 60 views on my last one. That's a surprising amount. I did not expect to get that much, considering, you know, the competition. Yeah, Matt, I'm talking about Matt. considering the competition, I did not expect to get that many views, but not that much, honestly. Probably just people looking for content on their favorite Ike, and yeah, Ike is pretty nice. You know, I've always had a fan. I've always had like this little interest in these little things, like the things that are not that popular, like not that well known, like stuff like Ike, Gilly, like, you know, Phoebus Deimos was always pretty funny to me. Like, jump and you're already away from the, like, seems kind of funny to me. You just jump a bit too hard and you're not coming back down. Well, yeah, I've always had like these little fantasies, I've always liked it. Like, Ike, nothing special about it, but just so enticing. Something about these things is just pulling me in. And oh yeah, this is the very long burn. Oh boy, yeah, I'm gonna have to cut past that. Oh yeah, nice little shot. And it's on for long enough so you can make a screenshot. Alright, I'm gonna have to cut past that. Whew, cut past that I will. Okay, I just cut that out, and that's literally 4 minutes of footage gone, reduced to atoms. Oh boy, that's a long burn. Yeah, burns can be long, especially when you're using trash like the nuclear engine. Yeah, but I mean the nuclear engine is quite decent. It's not as horrible as the Ion, but it's also not as inefficient as all the rest. Yeah. Alright, now, in the future episodes, you will see me using the Wolfhound, the big boy engine. You know, the one that fits to these fuel tanks, the one with 380 ISP. I will use that a lot more because it fits perfectly, and it's a good mix between efficiency and thrust. So yeah. Now, in some future episodes, I'll just use gigantic engines, but that's far in the future. I've got way too much footage before we're getting to that. Like, I'm telling you, it's gonna take a while until we get to that. Now, I did... Oh, yeah, there I go, spinning off. Yep, I did, in fact, just set this on a crash course so I wouldn't have to delete it manually. It's just so I wouldn't forget. And here we have our lovely space station. I warped to the sun side, accidentally warped around it a few times. Now, I don't really remember. Oh yeah, I did have a control group for that, yeah. On button press, I extend everything, except for, of course, that little ore scanner on there. Very poor work, Duck. And yeah, then I had to take over the entire stack, because one thing that's I really want for KSP2 is the ability to just throw away inventory items, because so many times I've accidentally kept the parachute in, which I try to not do, but it's really hard to remember, and I really can't be bothered to, you know, just put in storage space, and I won't remember. Now, I do transmit a few things, you know, a bit of science, and I do rename that, which is, now, temp is like this little save slot that I use for temporary things. For example, if I temporarily hold a, like, for example, I make a rocket that I'm gonna probably not care about anymore much longer, but I want it saved just in case, like, the game crashes or anything. So I call it temp, as in temporary. And yeah. And then it gets overwritten later on. Now, that's why most of the vessels are usually called temp. but I do try to rename them. If I remember, of course, I do rename them later on to, you know, remember what is what. And there's the wonderful screenshot. Now, this episode wasn't as long. I feel like it felt really fast going over, but well, take a screenshot, admire the view, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. You probably didn't, because I'm slightly stupid, inefficient, and not good at this game. But yeah, yeah, while I'm at it, tell you to like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the view, and until next time, this series is not over.